Are you somebody who's trying to create a new product, come up with a newer company, or struggling to find those new ideas? Then this video is for you. In this video, I will share with you the secrets of people like Steve Jobs and Einstein, how they were able to come up with those innovative ideas and create those things which never existed in the world. Understand that creation process happens inside out. Anything that we see around us today has first got internalized as an idea in the mind of somebody. Whether it is a mobile phone, the electricity, those cars, the aircraft, anything in the world. So in order to be able to create a new thing, get those new innovative ideas, it's important that we go deeper within ourselves, connect to that deeper version of ourselves to get those new ideas. And also, scientifically talking, we must be able to activate both sides of our brain. Now, how do we do that? Now, based on my research on people like Steve Jobs and Einstein, they were doing certain things, very simple things in their daily life, which was actually helping them get into their most creative and innovative zones. And here are the top 5 things that they were doing, which you can also incorporate. Number 1 is contemplation, or in other words, I can say meditation. So, spending time with yourself, connecting to your deeper self. And as you connect to your deeper self, just connect with that intention that it will guide you. Ask for that guidance, to give you that guidance to do the things that it wants you to do, so that you can work towards the bigger purpose of your life. Now, you could be aware of that bigger purpose of your life, or maybe you're not aware of it, which is absolutely fine. But ask for that guidance so that you get directed, your attention gets directed towards those things, doing those things. Both Steve Jobs and Einstein used to spend time in contemplation, doing absolutely nothing in certain time slots. In fact, most of us think of Steve Jobs as a highly technical person, but very few people know that Steve Jobs was spending a lot of time in meditation, morning and evening. He was associated with a lot of Zen masters and used to go deeper within, and this was one of the major reasons why he was able to tap into his most creative zones. Second is spending time in nature. Nature has a lot of lessons, and it is up to us how we assimilate that in terms of our own understanding. So spend time in nature, those nature walks, doing nothing, without any mobile phones, without talking to anybody, just you and nature. Both Steve Jobs and Einstein used to love their nature walks. Anytime somebody would ask Steve Jobs of the favorite thing that he wants to do, he would want to just go out and step out. Even in the last few years of his life, when he was not well too much, he would still make sure he spends some time in nature. And those were the times when he would get newer ideas to implement, to come up with certain new things. The third thing is creating high focus zones. Now, we might be working in a particular space where, we are doing work in high focus, which is extremely good on a regular basis. But sometimes it is advisable that you go to a different location, which is different from your normal routine space. And that space should also be an undisturbed zone. It could be, say, for example, a coffee shop or some other peaceful place in nature, or any place of your choice where you know you will not be disturbed and you can work in that new environment. Now, what happens by doing that is, as you get into newer environments, you create new neural pathways in your mind, and new neural pathways lead to activation of both sides of the brain, thereby leading to newer ideas, giving you more mind space. So do that. For example, Einstein had a particular place called Menlo Lab where he used to spend a lot of time creating newer ideas. There are a lot of internationally acclaimed writers and authors. For example, J.K. Rowling, when she had to write the most important chapters of Harry Potter series, she would go and sit in some coffee shops dedicatedly for a few hours, undisturbed, to write those newer chapters, get newer ideas. The fourth thing is observing more than you speak. So try to sharpen your observation skills. Instead of reacting, responding, or speaking, try to just observe a particular situation or experience. And when you start observing more, you will realize that every experience situation has some learning, some inspiration for you. In case of Einstein, for example, as a kid, naturally, he was somebody who started speaking very late as a child, and his parents were extremely worried about it. But this thing actually helped him enhance his observation skills. So he naturally became a very good observer. He would not really speak much. If he would speak, he would first internalize that piece of information and then speak it out only when it is very, very relevant. So try to observe the nitty-gritties of things. Those nitty-gritties which generally people kind of ignore or tend to just bypass. So sharpen your observation skills on a regular basis for small things around you. And fifth is involve yourself in creative activities. Activities like playing an instrument or learning new language, physical activity which needs body and mind coordination, or doing some artwork, painting. All of these activities will actually enhance your creative thinking capabilities. For example, in case of Einstein, his mother enrolled him into a violin class. And initially he was very reluctant as to, I'm not interested in this. But later he realized that he just loved it. And for almost his entire life after that, he used to play violin very, very often, almost every other day. And especially on days when he was stuck with a problem for which he couldn't find the answers to, he would just leave the problem there and start playing the violin. And in the middle of that somewhere, he would suddenly get the idea, the solution to that problem which he had just left. Even in case of Steve Jobs, I am not sure how many of you know that Steve Jobs was a music lover. He was a big fan of Bob Dylan and Beatles, and he would spend a lot of time listening to music and internalizing it at a deeper level. So make sure that even if it is 15-20 minutes, you spend time doing any of those creative activities that you resonate with, that you love doing, or even if you don't know what it could be, give it a shot. Try learning something new around some of those creative activities. So in a nutshell, the top 5 things that you can incorporate in your daily life in order to get into your most creative and innovative zones is: number 1, contemplation; number 2, spending time in nature; number 3, creating high-focused newer zones; number 4, observe more than you speak; and number 5, involve yourself in some creative activities. When you will start incorporating a mix of all of these 5 things in your life gradually, you will soon realize that creative ideas will start falling in very, very effortlessly to you and helping you create that new thing that you never imagined. If you like these ideas, then do write to me in the comment section below which of these top 2 ideas would you like to start incorporating in your life from today so that you can create something new and make an impact to the world.